I've made this drive several times, but never alone. And while I prefer to travel with my family and friends, it seemed like a fitting time to make the journey by myself. I learned that by traveling alone, you are granted a unique opportunity. You get the chance to think a lot. I mean, a lot. And as a brand new college graduate, this is exactly what I needed. I was given a chance to reflect on my college experience as it faded in the rearview mirror. I was given a chance to focus on the present and admire God's handiwork. And I was given the chance to anticipate the future as I began my career as an Army officer. I will always be grateful for these days spent behind the wheel with more time than money as I transitioned from college to adulthood. Today is July 4th, 2020. Tomorrow, July 5th, I will be headed to the American West to do a fly fishing road trip. So let me kind of first explain how this trip came about. So earlier this year, I graduated from Penn State University, and I also commissioned as a United States Army officer. Right now, I am waiting until August 23rd until I leave for San Antonio to start work. So I'm in a situation where I have a lot of time on my hands, but I don't have a whole lot of money. So let me talk a little bit about the itinerary for this trip. All right, so first stop on this trip is going to be to Grand Teton National Park, and I'm going to be meeting some people to do some backpacking. I'm going to do some fly fishing in the Jackson Hole area. After that, I'm going to work my way up into Yellowstone, fish around that area, and then I'm going to go up into Montana, fish Montana, and ultimately end up in Missoula, Montana with my cousin Nick and his wife Morgan. So as I mentioned, I'm in a situation where I have a lot of time, but I don't have a whole lot of money on my hands. So I'm going to be living out of my car for the duration of the trip. Let me give you a tour of the rig. So starting in the back of the rig here, I have a drawer system. This is a really nice way to road trip. I've done this before. This is just kind of my odds and ends in the top drawer. I have like toiletry stuff, my hammock, a towel, a couple of fishing items, just a little koozie, things like that in there. Second drawer down, I have all of my clothes for the trip, trying to pack pretty light, so I kept it really simple. In the bottom, I have my cooking supplies. I have my coffee making supplies with scale because I'm a little crazy about coffee. Everything in there, a pot, a pan, some soap, a little salt and pepper, some cook spray, my coffee cup, my AeroPress, everything ready to go in there. On the side here, I just have my propane grill. I have my regular running shoes that I use for road. And then I have my backpacking / trail runners. I plan on doing some trail running out there for sure. Underneath here, I have my jumper cables, some extra propane in there for the grill. I have my Orvis wading boots there. I have my net. I have my wading staff in there, some wading socks. Everything stored nice and neat underneath there. I have a rug that if I ever kind of want a porch area, I'll be able to slide that rug out real nice and easy. So that's the back of the rig. Let's take a look a little further up in. The side of the rig right here, this is kind of my storage closet area. I have my pantry, which is just a Tupperware container, all my food in there, a lot of just random stuff that Mom gave me from the pantry that hadn't been used in a long time. Again, I'm trying to keep my price as low as possible on this trip. I have a chair that's just sitting right here for around camp in the evening, a nice comfortable chair. So I have my sleeping bag right here it's a down sleeping bag, so I don't store it compressed. I just keep it right there. And then I have my fly tying equipment, which is something I've never gotten to do on an out west trip. It's gonna be kind of fun to sit around camp, I think, in the evenings and do some tying. A little further up, I have some water jugs here that I'm just gonna continually refill for my water storage. I have my fish pond chest pack right here, all my backcountry gear. So my backpack, my trekking poles, my tent is in there. Everything I need for an overnight stay in the backcountry. This is the area I'm most excited about. This is my sleeping space. I'm actually 5'11", and I fit very comfortably sleeping laid out in this space of the vehicle with the door shut. I will be putting my Klymit sleeping pad down. This thing is awesome. I've had this thing, I don't know how many backcountry nights, probably 60 or 70 plus. My inflatable pillow is there on the side. So I have a pillow as well here, just an old pillow, as well as some blankets if it's too warm for my sleeping bag. And then underneath, I have the seat pushed all the way forward right here. I have my cooler. And I also have my Black Diamond headlamp right there for a nice little reading light that I will keep that handy. So as I said, I'm all packed up. I'm ready to go. It's 4th of July. We're gonna enjoy some time with the family today, eat some burgers and hot dogs, and we will be hitting the road bright and early about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Keep her tuned.
Keep her tuned.
Time to hit the road.
So I slept in a little bit longer than I anticipated. Right now it's 6:50, July 5th, and I am on my way to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And if you'll take a look at that, and according to my GPS, I am 1 day and 5 hours away. So it's time for the long haul. So I am about 5 hours into the drive right now. I am in Dayton, Ohio. Got through Columbus a couple of minutes ago. Traffic was pretty light. Trip is going very well. I'm feeling great right now. I'm gonna grab something to eat here. Just refilling the tank, go to the bathroom, and I'm gonna be back on the road trying to burn as much time off this drive as I can today. So when you're road tripping by yourself, passing the time whenever you're just behind the wheel, you got to figure out some good ways to pass the time. So what I've been doing is just listening to some good podcasts, some good music, and just calling home, calling family, calling friends, just trying to really stay occupied here. So with podcasts, that's a big thing for me. If you guys know any good podcasts, just drop them in the comments because I'm always looking for some good new podcasts. I've been listening to the Wet Fly Swing podcast a lot, really enjoying that. If you guys have any other good fly fishing ones, let me know below. Alright, so we are making progress here. The goal right now is to get to Lincoln, Nebraska. I've still 5.5 hours of driving to go here. Calling in the big guns. Got the Monster. I'm not a big energy drink person, but on road trips I do drink some energy drinks. Gonna keep hitting the road here, getting some more gas, and then hopefully we'll make it to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, that is going to be a wrap on the first day. I have 12 hours and 34 minutes left. That means I did about 16 and a half hours of driving today. I am beat. It is time to get into the back of this thing and go to bed for a bit. Alright, it is morning. I slept so good. Time to hit the road. It is 5:40 in the morning, so Wyoming, here we come. Okay, so for today, I have decided to change my plans up a little bit. It is an 8-hour drive to Casper, Wyoming. I think I'm gonna go and fish the North Platte, even if only for an hour or two. We're gonna check it out. So instead of Jackson Hole as the destination right now, we are going to Casper, Wyoming. Around here to Casper, Wyoming. I stopped at this area. I guess this is a historical marker, an area where some Mormon immigrants kind of came across the West. I'm having a sandwich, gonna make a cup of coffee, and just keep trucking down the road. I'm just trying to relax right now. I'm getting tired of driving, not gonna lie. So taking it easy right now. Two major items I forgot to include in my packing list. One is an extra car key in case I need a backup, I lose the one. And two, arguably more important, toilet paper. You know why. Okay, so I just arrived in Casper. I literally have absolutely no idea where a fly shop would be, but I'd say we have found the trout. I like the looks of that. So I'm gonna keep driving around and I'm gonna look for a place to park and walk the streets of Casper. This is much bigger than I thought it would be. Stopped into a shop called the Ugly Bug Fly Shop. Super helpful in there, great selection. So what I'm gonna do now, I got some good information from those guys as well and picked up a little bit of Maxima Chameleon. So I'm gonna go try and find some water, and I'm gonna give the North Platte a shot and see what I can't do. All right, so bear with me with the wind, but I just arrived to the river. I just saw a 20-inch brown rise right there. He slammed something on top. It's time to try and get a hopper over that guy. All right, so I'm pretty sure that fish, like I said, blew up on a hopper. So Doug actually, he did some tying for me and tied me this hopper right here. Real nice hopper, natural coloration. I'm gonna go toss this thing, no dropper right now. Just gonna toss it right over top of that fish and we're gonna see what happens. Here goes nothing. All right, so I just tried throwing over that fish with this hopper. No good, so I think I'm gonna try out another hopper, fish this, and then I'm just gonna start working my way upstream. Right now, I'm just gonna go to what I feel the most confident with, and that is European style nymphing. I'm gonna go grab my 10-foot 3-weight here, and I am going to nymph some of these faster moving runs, throw the waders on, get out in the water a little bit and see if I can't hook into one. First fish in the net, and it's a big old chunky rainbow. First fish of the trip is a stud.
Check out that fish, man. Oh, you gotta love that. Let's get him back in the water. Let's go. First fish on this river. On a old Rainbow Warrior. Absolutely awesome, guys. So that first fish came just nymphing this shallow water right here on the old Euro rig. What a blessing to get into a fish like that as soon as I get out here. It made that long drive worthwhile. So we're gonna keep at it a little bit longer, see if we can't get a few more in the net before we call it a night. Big rainbow, man. Check out this rainbow. Look at that rainbow. That is a Western rainbow right there. Let's get him back in. Absolute stud of a rainbow. Wow. Let's go. Wyoming. These fish are awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. So I have a New Zealand wool indicator rig on right now. I'd rather use a European style setup, but the thing is, the wind right now is a real hindrance for that. So I'm keeping everything down on the water. Just caught that big rainbow, probably a 20-inch rainbow, using the New Zealand wool indicator. So let's see if we can't catch another one out of there. So as I said, I cut that session a little early. It was so windy and it was so hot. I'm just not used to this temperature. It was 97 degrees down by the North Platte. I decided to head toward the Wind River Range here. It's a range of mountains I've always really wanted to see. I'm gonna look for some BLM land and camp up in there tonight. Just need to find a campsite and then we are going to settle in for the night and get some sleep. All right, so I continued my journey up in elevation. I'm definitely in a much cooler place right now. I didn't get as far up into the mountains as I had hoped. I'm really tired. So what I'm gonna do is spend the night in this Safeway parking lot, just rack out in the back here. I caught up on some much needed rest that night and felt pretty refreshed as I hit the road again the next day. A few hours into the next leg of the trip, I started making my way through Shoshone National Forest and decided that this might be a good place to take a little break from driving and do a little bit of fishing. Not bad at all. Let's get this guy back in the water. Although I would have liked to stay a little longer and only caught one fish, I knew that the Tetons were just a few hours away, so I made a quick lunch and hit the road again. All right. So I made lunch here, having a PB&J, and first section of Shoshone National Forest, Teton area. Impressive. It was really nice down there. It was beautiful. I actually only landed one trout, caught a couple of whitefish. Didn't fish too long because I want to keep headed up the road here to Jackson Hole. This next stretch of the drive should be absolutely beautiful. So let's hit the road. This next part of the drive was absolutely amazing. The scenery just kept getting better and better. And when I thought that it couldn't get more beautiful than this, I caught a glimpse of the Tetons in the distance. So just past Togawati Pass, which is about, I think it said it was 9,600 feet of elevation. So I was up there. My ears are popping, and I definitely could feel the elevation. So I am starting my descent now into Jackson Hole, and I'm gonna visit some fly shops. And I think I'm also going to try and get a run in here, trying to stay in shape for my PT test here for the Army. So gonna get a run in here to elevation. Hopefully that helps me with training, and just explore Jackson Hole. When I finally arrived in Jackson Hole, I did a little exploring around town before visiting a couple of fly shops to get some info and buy a few fly tying materials. In the Jackson Hole area, according to these fly shops, is that everything is high, and I definitely saw that coming in. The water is high right now, but I am going to give it a shot here real quick on the Snake River, just see what I can do right before dark. Absolutely beautiful view though. It's just, man, that's just incredible. We fished a lot of rivers out here, but I don't think anything compares to the Snake River Valley. Like, this is just beautiful here. I fished for about an hour that night and managed to bring a few whitefish to the net. It's a big whitefish. It's like another whitefish here. Yup. Nice whitey. Back he goes. After about the 5th or so whitefish, I decided to head out and search for a place to sleep before getting back at it the next day. This next day of fishing is one that I will never forget. Even though the conditions were very tough due to the high water and the fishing was really slow, the scenery was just off the charts. Of the dozen or so fish that I actually did manage to catch, all were native cutties, which really added to the whole experience. Cutty. Let's get him back in the water here. All right. Even after putting away the waders for the day, I'll never forget some of the time I spent camping that evening, including my ridiculously cold bath in the Snake River. Oh my Lord, is that cold? Oh, Snake River is cold. All right, oatmeal for supper. Got some peanut butter and chocolate protein powder in there with the oats. And got a nice riverside view here. Absolutely awesome. Loving this right now. From this point on, my remaining time in the Tetons would actually be spent hiking with some friends from home that I was meeting up with for a backpacking trip. While fishing around the Tetons didn't quite live up to my expectations, the hiking and scenery was beyond great. From this point moving forward, fly fishing became the primary focus of the trip. And we cannot wait to share these videos with you. Just got into Yellowstone, got my map here. I'm just gonna drive through the park all day long. I'm just gonna try and hit some rivers that I grew up reading about, some fabled rivers here in Yellowstone. I'm just gonna have a good time. I'm gonna try and record as much as I can here.